Gold stocks around the world are now generally fully priced. So the acquisitions that you talked about have happened, the turnarounds have happened. That's been reflected in the company's share prices as a result of very good communication by the CEOs of those companies. It's actually very difficult to find value and hard to see what transaction will deliver accretive shareholder value. And in this regard, investors are actually pretty demanding these days. So on the one hand, they expect healthy takeover premiums to be paid for target companies. So if they're investing in the target company, they'd expect a healthy takeover premium. On the other hand, if they are invested in the company that's taking over the other company, they're very reluctant to see a takeover premium paid. So we're in this sort of catch-22 situation, and investors certainly don't want to see companies overpaying for assets. So in my opinion, this means that further activity in this regard is going to be fairly limited unless there's a catalyst, and there are a couple of potential catalysts out there, one of which could be just a change in investor sentiment, driven by, for example, sentiment around the gold price, sentiment around political risk, sentiment around exchange rate and things like that. The other thing would be if substantial synergies could be developed and demonstrated. And one such synergy could simply be an acquirer wanting to spread its political risk by moving out of a high risk jurisdiction into a lower risk jurisdiction. And in that regard, I sincerely hope our politicians don't do any further damage to our perceived good political risk situation. So this doesn't preclude companies from looking at value, but we've just got to be pretty innovative in doing so. There's not a transaction that we're going to just simply fall over walking through the field. I think there are a number of merchant banks who are pushing the bigger and better story, but when you talk to investors, I'm not so sure that they're doing anything of the sort. In fact, many of them say, if you talk to them about diversifying risk by having more than a couple of operations, they say, don't worry about that, we can do that in our portfolio. So we don't need you to do that, and we certainly don't need you to overpay to do that.